So we're ready. Ayo. Okay. Well, so they
Welcome.
recognize him and then, girl, you probably been around Jack and Yones and you don't even know
I
it at this
probably
point.
have. I probably have.
He was like, I was probably in one of those episodes. That's me. I was the one minding my business.
You're gonna have me looking through all this footage now.
Wait,
See
was
if I
that
find
me?
myself.
And but I like those type of
Probably stay and hold the door open for the lady.
you would.
Yeah, because I've been in that situation before, having 3 children and
Okay.
having to do these things with them in tow, and it's hard. So I would probably sympathize and forego the cart. And
Wow.
in my mind, I think I'm just gonna have to wait for somebody to check out and get me a cart. And yeah, I would hold the door open for her.
Kim is
That's tough.
such a better human being than I am
Ah.
because I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest.
You going for the cart?
I'm going for the cart. You know what it is? My excuse in life is that I'm short, and chances are people who are taller than me get farther in life than me. And so I take as many wins as I can in life. And if share a little bit with me of how long you were with this person, and how that relationship looked at from the outside in.
Oh, the outside in.
Interesting, right?
Okay. Yeah. So, I I was married for 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, maybe a little over between 13 and 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the word I'm looking for? People thought we had an amazing relationship.
Mm.
There were a lot of people that would, seek out advice because they
Oh.
thought we had it together. And, we had a lot of ups and downs that people were aware of, but we held it together. Well,
Right.
so it seemed we were holding it together. So people would, they would assume that, we had some formula, we
Mm.
had something. We had something that we could share with them to let them know, like, this is why we're together. In all actuality, it was very, very different on the inside.
Mm.
Um, very almost completely opposite on the
Yeah.
inside. The example, and it was so hard
Mm.
because on the inside, I was hurting, I was broken. I was like, y'all got no idea, like
Mm.
no idea the things
Mm-hmm.
that we're dealing with, going through.
Right.
Um,
So it doesn't just have to be one thing. It's not about whose fault was it. It doesn't
right.
automatically have to be just that.
Hmm.
And so for you to be able to share and say like no one knew and I was dealing with all of this internally. When you
Right.
hear like someone say all of this, the word all could just mean so many things at once.
Hmm.
And it could be very I some people say draining. I like to say drowning because you feel like you're at the surface just trying to breathe
Yes,
and literally not drown.
I'm married.
You're okay.
So that's a huge piece I should share. Like,
Hmm.
you know, um, it was a part of it was making it right with God, you know.
Copy. Mm.
So, you know, ultimately, I can't put the blame on anyone else. I did make the decision to get married. I
Hmm.
was young, I was in love, and you have this vision of, what marriage is supposed to be, and you know, all right. I've been writing for a really long time. I always found such a amazing release with writing. Um, I used to write just to challenge myself. Something that I like to do. I don't know if I've ever done it with you, but I'll ask like a random person to give me a word, any word, and I'll
I
write
think,
something
yeah.
uh, with that word. Um, I don't know, like words and stringing words together just to evoke like a feeling. I just find so much joy in that. And it's always been like a very personal thing for me. When I was in my relationship, I felt like my voice was like I felt like I was being muted to ever
Mm.
express myself the way I wanted to. So I was like, you know what, now that it's over, I'm gonna speak freely. And that's where She Speaks Free comes from.
Mhm.
And wanting to share things that I know are relatable. And
Yeah,
sometimes people don't find those other people to relate with. So I wanted people to know, like, yo, I know, I got you.
I got
You
you.
know, I feel that too. And that's where the blog came from. So after the Instagram page, I was like, you know, I'm going to start a blog.
Yeah.
And it was actually something I discussed with my therapist. She encouraged me fully to do this because she,
Yeah.
you know, little secret blog over here. I'm going to type
Mhm.
my stuff out and,
Mhm.
you know, and then I was like, you know what? Fuck that. You
Yes.
know, how the hell am I speaking free if nobody knows about what I'm writing?
There
This
you
makes
go.
no damn sense. And so I self-care is and really owning themselves fully,
Ooh.
right? And there's so many avenues of self-care out there. It's not just pampering yourself,
Mhm.
you know, and I hate that that's what's portrayed so much, you know. It's definitely part of it,
Mhm.
but there's so much more. There's so
Someone told me that even if I don't try and teach, the moment one person just learns one thing from me, you are a teacher.
mm,
But just afraid of having to really take that step of
mhm,
having to transition out of something. And you just never know who might be struggling with that. Now, let me be very
yeah,
clear on something. I absolutely encourage people that if you do still feel that there's love, then you keep working through it. If you do think that couples therapy might work, then go for it. Go
right,
for it. What
right,
I did want this to be of a purpose to shine light on is I don't think anything is ever going to work where it takes two people when only one person is working.
right.
That's the
And
part.
right. And I just want to say for anyone that is getting into a extremely committed relationship, like whether it's marriage or moving in together,
Mhm.
people always say like, you know, everything's 50-50, and it's not. It's 100. Like
Mhm.
the recipe for a great relationship is two people that are
Mhm.
100 in themselves, or at least seeking to be 100, to being solid, healed, you know, like individuals come with so much. And then when you
Mhm.
try and put those two things together,
Mhm.
so many scenarios, so many things could happen,
There was anything
you
you
know.
wanted to share off the bat?
Oh my God, I get to
Yeah.
share something on
Get
this platform.
Yeah.
This might be better than a Facebook post.
Oh,
Ah!
well, you might want to. And I swear, I mean, you might want to if you want to. And I swear on everything that I love, it's all about alignment. The universe has ways of talking to you. So go for it, Kim.
All right. So although my
Episode
relationship,
49, I want to just share the first email that Double Dose of Raw Talk got. And it comes from a girl named Sue. So shout out to Sue. She knows I'm going to share this.
Sue.
Hey, Sue. She knows I'm going to share this because I actually asked her if I could. And she writes, Hi, Miss D. I've just been listening to some of your Double Dose of Raw Talk podcast episodes, and I've loved every one of them I've listened to so far. They are fun as well as educational and very well presented. I was not always intending to be educational, but if you took it that way, I appreciate that.
Mhm.
And it's great to hear the women talk openly about sexuality and sexual experiences. It's why I love when you have female guests so much. Some of your podcasts literally get me laughing out loud. Thank you so much for being so awesome. I love your approach of no topics are off limits. And then she says, and I'm not going to give the full story because I think for episode 50, I'm going to give the deeper story. So I want you guys to come back next week to episode 50 to listen to, my dose